Hi all, welcome to the discussion on nonlinear optics. So in this session, we'll be discussing about the intensity dependent refractive index. So before going to the explanation of the intensity dependent refractive index, so first we can start with the refractive index of linear media. Okay, so just we can review what is meant by the refractive index of linear media. So remember, a media is said to be linear if its polarization P of t is simply only depending upon the electric field, only depending upon the first power of electric field. So if the polarization, if you can write in this particular way, then it is a linear media. Okay. Then what would be the corresponding electric displacement? So electric displacement you can write epsilon 0 E plus P, and that would become epsilon 0 1 plus chi E cos omega t, and this would be epsilon 0 epsilon r e cos of omega t. So this 1 plus chi, okay, there is no tilde for chi, that is basically chi 1. So the epsilon r here, it is 1 plus chi 1. Okay, then finally the electric displacement can be written as epsilon e cos of omega t. So this will be the electric displacement. So similarly, we can find the relation between the H and B, and we find that the H, that would be equal to B by mu cos omega t. So in the place of epsilon 0, we are getting epsilon, and in the place of mu 0, we are getting mu. And hence, what would happen is if you write down the differential equation of the wave, what we get is dou square E by dou x square, or in general, we can write del square. So del square E would be equal to mu epsilon dou square E by dou t square. So by this expression, you can write down your Maxwell's equation, and finally we can show that the del square E is equal to mu epsilon dou square E by dou t square. So this would be the wave equation in media, linear media. What was the wave equation in vacuum? So the wave equation in vacuum was del square E equal to mu 0 epsilon 0 dou square E by dou t square, and we have identified the speed of this wave, that would be equal to 1 by square root of mu 0 epsilon 0, and it is approximately 300 raised to 8 meter per second. And that is why we said that the light, this is the speed of light, and the light must be an electromagnetic wave. So that is uh, the prediction given by the Maxwell. Okay, so that is everything that we know. If we compare the wave equation vacuum and wave equation linear media, the only difference is mu epsilon. That is mu 0 is replaced with mu, and epsilon 0 is replaced with epsilon. Then what would be the speed of the electromagnetic wave in the linear media? So speed of the electromagnetic wave in the linear media V, that would be equal to 1 by square root of mu times epsilon. And since mu and epsilon is greater than mu 0 and epsilon 0 usually, because epsilon is epsilon 0, epsilon r, and mu is mu 0, mu r. Okay, so therefore the speed of electromagnetic wave in the linear media would be lesser than the speed of light in vacuum. So V should be always lesser than C. And so hence we can define what is going to be refractive index. So refractive index is defined as C by V, and by definition this will become square root of mu epsilon divided by mu 0 epsilon 0. Now mu is mu 0 mu r and epsilon is epsilon 0 epsilon r. So mu 0 epsilon 0 would be cancelled, and you will get this as square root of mu r epsilon r. And for most of the magnetic material, mu r is approximately 1, and hence the refractive index can be approximately written as square root of epsilon r, and it is approximately equal to square root of 1 plus chi1. So this is what I want. So that means if you write the polarization this particular way, with the polarization epsilon 0 chi1 e cos omega t. So just look at the linear term of the polarization, and the corresponding susceptibility is chi1. Okay, so then the refractive index can be written as square root of 1 plus this constant chi1. So this chi1 which comes over here is same as the chi1 which is coming here. So that is a point I want to make. Okay, so we have to just look at the polarization term which is linear in electric field. From there we can get the expression for susceptibility, and once you know that linear susceptibility, we can find out the value of the refractive index, the approximate value of the refractive index of the material. So if you know, if you got this idea, then we can discuss the refractive index of the nonlinear media, or the refractive index of media with the third order nonlinearity. Okay, now in the last class we have discussed about third order nonlinearity. Okay, then the polarization of medium with third order nonlinearity. Okay, so for the time being, you can just assume the chi2 is 0, and the electric field we can put as E cos of omega t. So we can just recall the previous result. So according to the previous result, the P of t would be the linear polarization, which is epsilon 0 chi1 E cos omega t plus epsilon 0 chi3 E cube cos of 3 omega t plus 3 cos omega t all divided by 4. Okay, so this can be a rewrite. We can combine the for the terms with oscillating with frequency omega, and hence it become epsilon 0 chi1 plus 3 by 4 chi3 e square e cos omega t plus epsilon 0 chi3, and there is a 1 by 4 here, e cube cos of 3 omega t. Now remember this term generate third harmonic, and what about this term? This term produce the omega frequency only. Okay, so the first term, the linear in electric field. Okay, so therefore our linear susceptibility would be this entire term. This chi1 plus 3 by 4 chi3 e square has come in the place of symbol chi1. Okay, so for linear media, if the medium is linear, then the refractive index will take this form, n equal to square root of 1 plus chi1. Okay, where chi1 is this susceptibility. Now instead of that, we are getting this. Now this the chi1 is related to the linear refractive index. Okay, so linear refractive index. Okay, for the time being, I am denoting by symbol NL. Okay, so in the previous page, the n which has come over here, I can put it as NL, the linear refractive index. So the NL we can write as square root of 1 plus chi1. Now this refractive index which comes through this susceptibility would be non-linear. Okay, so this entire term would give the nonlinear susceptibility. And what about the nonlinear refractive index? So the n nonlinear would be equal to square root of 1 plus this entire susceptibility. So 1 plus chi1 plus 3 by 4 chi3 a square. Okay, now 1 plus chi1 is basically the linear refractive index. So 1 plus chi1 can be written as the square of linear refractive index. But we can use capital. So this become square root of n L square plus 3 by 4 chi3 a square. So NL square can be taken outside. See, if you take that outside, become NL. Okay, sorry, NL. Then inside the bracket it would be 1 plus 3 by 4 chi3 a square divided by NL square all raised to 1 by 2. Okay, so usually this chi3 the strength would be very small. It is in the order of 10 raised to minus 24, and the E would be should be very large, but the chi3 E square would be comparable to 1. And when it is there is a denominator NL square, so NL is the refractive index of the linear media, that would be obviously greater than 1. So this total quantity would be less than 1. Okay, so since it is less than 1, then we can expand this power as a power series. It's called binomial expansion. And if you use the binomial expansion and take only the up to the first term, and if you the first two term, and if you neglect the higher order terms, and then we can write this as NL 1 plus 3 by 4. Okay, so it become 3 by 8. 1 by 2 and chi3 e square divided by NL square. So just by using the binomial expansion. Okay, then what would be the final nonlinear refractive index? So then the final nonlinear refractive index will become the linear refractive index plus 3 by 8 chi3 e square divided by NL. Okay, so one NL will be cancelled, so it will become NL. Okay, so this is the expression that we want. The refractive index, the nonlinear refractive index, is not a constant. So usually the refractive index of linear medium is a constant. If you look at the previous expression, this is a linear refractive index. This would be a constant because chi1 is susceptibility. That is a constant value for a particular material. Okay, so refractive index will be a fixed value for a material. So that is already known to us. For example, for water, the refractive index is 1.33, and if you take a glass, it will be around 1.5. Okay, the different glass may have a different refractive index, but the one particular glass will have a constant refractive index. But whereas for a linear media, the refractive index is not a constant; it is a function of E square. It is a function of E square. Okay, so E square depending upon the intensity. Okay, so the E square means E square is related to intensity because the intensity of light usually we write as half. Okay, the intensity in general it is the average energy density into the speed of the wave. So this become half epsilon E square times V. So this is a general expression for intensity, half epsilon V E square. So the intensity and E square are related. So that means the nonlinear refractive index will change with the intensity of light. So if you increase the intensity, the refractive index increases. So what we can do is we can change for the same media, we can have the different refractive index depending upon the strength of the electric field or depending upon the strength of the intensity. Okay, so since it is proportional to E square, we can directly say that it depends on intensity. So this is what is meant by the intensity dependent refractive index. Okay. Now, what is the implication of this? So we have a direct implication. This is called self-focusing. Okay, that we'll discuss next. So that we can discuss as a next lecture.